Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It is not quite Thanksgiving yet, but this is the week of Thanksgiving, and I will not be doing this before Thanksgiving again. So, I did this last year. I tried to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving, and I tried to reflect on the things that I felt thankful for, because that seems to be the thing that people do on Thanksgiving. And, really, I think this time around I'd like to reflect on the things that I regret, okay? Because, there are things that we feel bad about, and to just try to hone in on what's good and try to pretend that the bad isn't happening is not a good idea. Need to vent, let it all out. And that's what these rants are about, right? Letting it all out. So, I don't know. I don't have anything in particular that I can point to and say, wow, this has just been so disastrous for me. There are little annoyances here and there. For example, I regret not being better about picking up my mail. I hate picking up mail. It's all junk mail anyway. I hate sorting through it. I pick it up infrequently. It piles up around my house, and then when I get around to it, I find that people send me checks. All right, that I then can't deposit because they're old. Worst case scenarios with someone who sent me a check that said it needed to be cashed within 30 days. Can you believe that? 30 days of the date of the check. I mean, by the time it gets to me, it's already as much as 2 weeks have elapsed. So that is ridiculously unreasonable. But, when it comes to us owing them money, we owe them forever. But if they owe us something and we don't collect it in time, then, they feel that they have the right to just withhold that money and never pay it. It's unbelievable. And that's part of the bigger picture of what I regret. It just seems like everybody out there is trying to desperately to hold on to their money like I'm doing. And then there's other people out there desperately just clawing at those people that are holding on to the money and trying to separate them from their money as much as possible. It's unbelievable what's going on, and I'm also quite disturbed by how there is so little socialization, it seems, in society. Like, I kind of touched on how businesses are being less responsive to their customers. I've talked about that once before, but it's also spilling over from the business world into the personal as well. There's all kinds of inventions and things being developed to make it easier for people to just stay home and not go anywhere, with the advent of home theater, and, you don't even need to go to Blockbuster Music Network. You could just stream a movie. You don't even need to go to the store. That used to be a part of the whole social event for me. Not only watching a movie with people, but actually going out to the store and browsing and picking something out. So, a lot of that's just gone. I'm feeling a little bit, nostalgic for the past and how things were done. And that kind of happens to people at my age. I went shopping today and I just felt kind of out of place. I was by myself, as I often am, and it just seemed, things just felt different, and things are different. I was shopping for groceries, but there's people now that are, placing their orders online and going to the store and picking them up. They're not even walking up and down the aisles anymore. So, while on the one hand, I think it's really nice that businesses are trying to accommodate us and make things easier for us so that we can spend more time at home with families. But for those of us who don't have a family, what's there to stay home for? I don't know. I talk to friends, and a lot of them just feel kind of on an island, as I do. And unfortunately, a lot of them are far away, so it's not like we can get together and hang out. But, I apologize. It's just kind of ranting about nothing in particular. But this really bothers me. I think it's important that we do hold on to our traditions and ways of doing things, and also develop new systems that other people or maybe later generations can embrace. But when I was growing up, there was and we were getting away from that. Malls were big, right? Now the malls are dinosaurs. And growing up, going to the mall was the thing to do. I mean, I didn't do a lot of that, but people used to like to hang out at the mall and go walk around. And I guess that's still an option, but I don't know anyone that does that. So as time marches on, we just find different ways of doing things, and that's okay. But I don't see anything wrong with the old ways of doing things, and there's kiosks now for everything. There's very little human contact. I'm guilty of using self-checkouts and, that sort of thing. And I like it, because sometimes we're not in the mood to interact with people. But, sometimes we need help, and there's really no one to go to. There's no one to talk to. And if you can find someone, they don't really usually know, because the computers are doing everything for us these days. And I don't know. It's really leading to, these feelings of isolation and loneliness. And, I'm not alone in feeling that way. I sense it from the people I know. So, the difference is, I feel that it's only me that's feeling this way, and I know that it's not. And I also regret that we've become so uptight as a society, and nobody wants to talk to one another. And it's partially out of fear, you say the wrong thing, and you're being accused of being hateful or racist or a combination of the two, and it's not good. It's really not good for us. We need to try to see the good in one another, because people tend to just always assume the worst about one another, and sometimes it's true, but a lot of times it's not. And when you're wrong, you just make matters worse. And that's one thing I regret, because I've had friends in the past that I've made some unfair accusations towards, and to this day I don't know that I was right, but and maybe I was, but maybe I was wrong, and and I hurt those people, and I've lost the friendship over it. I think good friendships can, really good quality friendships can survive a lot. And I think people should be able to have respectful disagreements and be able to talk about anything these days. And it just seems that we can't. We can't. Everybody's just kind of, walking on eggshells, and it's just not right. And I regret that. And, hopefully we'll get away from that. It just seems like a lot of people are trying to be kind of in your face, and I don't like that either. That's the opposite extreme. I don't think that's the solution. I don't know what is. I really don't. Usually I have an answer for everything, and I wish I had an answer about this, but I don't. I'm just saddened by it, that we all can't just talk to each other about whatever the hell we want to, and have the courage to tell one another, you know what, I don't agree with that, but you know what, you're my friend, regardless, We don't really know how people think, so we don't even really know who our friends really are anymore, because everybody's bottling things up. But anyway, for those of you who have more to be thankful for than remorseful for, then that's great. I'm happy for you, and don't overindulge. For Thanksgiving, and watch out for that turkey. I hear a lot of them have been recalled for salmonella, so don't want illness to put a damper on your celebrations. So anyway, as always, I want to thank you for listening, despite all the blather and just senseless ranting. I really do appreciate you listening and watching and agreeing. And if you don't, please do until you do. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time.